So wait, soon as it I started
As
streaming.
soon as it
Oh,
says it's live.
Jackie, where's that thing to record? Oh,
It's up in the top
I
right.
got it.
Oh no, it's
I got
on
it.
the yeah.
I got it.
Recording in progress.
Okay,
Okay.
we getting ready to
We
go.
always
We
record,
almost
Mr.
getting ready.
Alexander, because
There we
um
go.
just in case we have some sort of
Glitch.
glitch, we record
Okay.
it.
Yeah. So we live now.
Okay.
All
So
right.
Earl, Jackie, you still there in the main screen?
I'm still here, and sorry, I forgot to tell you. I will be hiding myself on the screen. I'm not going to be up here on the screen, but I will be here. So if any problems come up, you just let me know. So, all right.
All right.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. You in charge. I just want to first of all thank you for coming on this live interview. A lot of people are was waiting for you to come on tonight, and so I just want to say thank you and introduce to the world Earl Alexander running for city commissioner, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
come on and just kind of tell us about what you're doing and why you want this position and how you want to help the people. And I don't have to tell you how to talk because on Electric James Inspirational Talks, you come on and tell your own story. And I know that you're
All
doing
right.
some
All
other
right.
things too. So hey, let's just go for it. All right.
All right. All right. Well,
Okay.
first of all, I'm gonna start off by saying yes. My name is Earl Kenneth Alexander, and I am running for City Commissioner District 1. That's West Texas City. And in case you all don't or not able to stay on the entire broadcast, I'm going to first tell you the election day. The election day is May the 7th. Early voting starts April 25th through the 29th, and you can vote from 8 to 5 at the Nestler Center or at Carver Park or College of the Mainland. Ooh, how did I slip that one? College of the Mainland. So yeah, those are the locations. Again, early voting starts April 25th through 29th from 8 to 5 at Nessa Center, Carver Park, or College of the Mainland. There also is early voting on May the 2nd and 3rd from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on May the 2nd and 3rd. And the election, the final day to wrap up voting is May the 7th. So again, those are the days in case those people can't stay on here as long as we plan on talking and communicating. Hopefully you'll stay on for a long period of time because you're going to hear some amazing things that you didn't know, things that people don't normally say when it comes to people in public offices.
Yes.
So first of all, just an introduction of myself, in which a lot of people don't know. Again, I moved here to South Acres, West Texas City in 1988. So I am a 30 plus year resident of District 1. I moved here because my mom actually got a divorce and she was working. She moved from where we're from and she married a man from Galveston, and hey, it didn't work out. And all of a sudden one day she comes home and she leaves Brazoria County, Brazoria where we at, and I can see her eyes with a little wail, and I see my little brother crying. And it's like, okay, they moved to Lamarck, and they're all by themselves, West Texas City. We called it Lamarck because we didn't know any better because we weren't from here.
Right.
So we moved to Lamarck, and so they were by themselves. And I was like, okay, well, hey, being the oldest son, hey, I'm gonna move to Lamarck. So I moved to Lamarck, and West Texas City. Hey, this was a wonderful place. It still is a wonderful place. But when I came, it was amazing, man. The schools were amazing. The educational systems were amazing, top notch. I mean, it was so good to where I never wanted to go back to Brazoria County again. It was just, it was lovely there. And so I'm a 1990 graduate of Lamarck High School, proud graduate of Lamarck High School. But they had set the standard so high to where it was like, okay, you either got to go to college or military. And pretty much I don't have a friend or classmate that I ever hung around that didn't go to the college or military. So they kind of set the standard and pushed me to be better. So right after graduation in 1990, I actually went to the U.S. Army Texas National Guard. So in that, I studied petroleum supply, and I was a petroleum supply specialist for the U.S. Army. Soon after that, I became a member of the Texas National Guard. That's why you'll hear me say a lot. You're going to hear me say tonight that I serve my country, my state, and my community, because I did. Because as a U.S. Army, I served my country. As a veteran of the Texas National Guard, I served the state of Texas. And as a volunteer, I've served my community. So again, that's what you'll hear a lot tonight from me. All right. So then being in the Army, hey, I'm up there in Virginia, and being in Virginia, it was about 13-degree weather, and they had us sleeping outside in the cold. And I said, hey, I need to get back to Texas. We sleeping in tents outside in the cold, and it's like 13 degrees. And okay, well, now college is a real option.
Yeah,
college is an option. But before, because I'm a first generation college student, I didn't know college was an option until that 13-degree weather hit me from sleeping outside. So I came to College of the Mainland, and then coming to College of the Mainland, it really opened my eyes to so many things. And my brother, again, my mom being a single parent, I had to step up and be a fatherly role model. So I ended up volunteering in Lamarck ISD. So my first volunteering experience was with a group called HOST, Help One Student to Succeed, where I went at 19 years old. So I didn't wait till I got older to start volunteering. At 19 years old, I knew I was the role model for my younger brother. So I started volunteering at Lamarck Middle School, and the HOST program was called Help One Student to Succeed, where we went and read to young kids and started helping them read and teaching them and showing them the way. So from there, that bug kind of caught, okay, this is a good thing to do for them to come. And I was the only male in there a lot of times, and I'm trying to make sure my little brother gets everything he needs, and I'm just being a role model. So from there, I actually had a child when I was my junior year in high school. Okay. So, but again, because my father wasn't around, I wanted to be around. So now I'm a junior in high school, but I'm taking Lamar's classes. Why? Because I want to be a better father. So in that, by the time I got to College of the Mainland, trying to be better, I end up volunteering so much at Mainland Head Start that at 21 years old, Mainland Head Start named me Father of the Year. I'm looking at all these other fathers that are far older than me. I'm like, wow, y'all named me Father of the Year. And what actually happened was because and I talk to College of the Mainland all the time, and you're gonna hear me praise College of the Mainland so much because College of the Mainland totally changed my life. So what happened was the roof, it was a bad storm, and the roof got messed up, and it was raining. So Mainland Head Start wanted to have their graduation, but it rained inside of there. So some of my mentors here at College of the Mainland said, well, hey, we can do it in the auditorium here at College of the Mainland. So for the next 5 years, they had their the Head Start graduation at College of the Mainland. And for that, they named me Father of the Year. But it wasn't just because of that, it was because I just kept volunteering. If it was pet week, I went to the pet store and got some pets and brought them to the daycare, to the Head Start, and started showing them birds and whatever, and just doing whatever I could to be a better father and not an absentee father as the one I had.
That's all right.
Again, so that was it. So College of the Mainland set the format for me. So again, Mainland Head Start named me Father of the Year at 21 years old. All right, from there, then working, again, that bug, because, and I tell anybody that's listening, watch that bug, because if it catch you, it's not going to let you go. Because once you get that feeling of helping people and doing things, you're just going to keep on doing it. It's going to grow, and it's going to grow and grow to where your family going to say, hey, why you over there volunteering so much? Why? Because it make you feel good. It make you feel like you've done something to help somebody. So then from there, from helping one student to succeed in reading to helping students at Mainland Head Start, then all of a sudden I met a lady named Beverly Mitchell at College of the Mainland. And that Beverly Mitchell say, you don't just have personal responsibilities, you have civic responsibilities. All right. So then what we started doing is she said, well, hey, you need to start helping with getting involved in city government. So that Miss Mitchell had us everywhere. and we started out in 1993 with the Justice of the Peace with Sonny James. I never forget, it was Sonny James. It was Rodney Player, and it was one of them attorneys out of Galveston. And they was running, and so she had us walking the streets and passing out flyers and getting voters and passing out voter registration cards and all that stuff. And at the time, I don't even remember if I was registered. I'm pretty sure I was registered to vote because I did that in my government class. But so in that, I'm saying I have walked 50 miles of District 1.
What?
Now some of the other candidates might say they rode around. I have walked 50 miles of District 1.
Yes.
Walk the miles.
Yeah.
So in that again, putting out signs, putting out flyers, trying to pass bonds, going door to door for College of the Mainland bonds, going door to door for Lamarck ISD bonds, going all over, just walking and talking to people. And again, I'm 21, 22, 20, 23 years old. So again, that's how I received the Student Role Model Award. So again, from that, being active, I actually graduated from College of the Mainland. So I was a 1995 COM graduate, proud College of the Mainland graduate, and I say that all the time. And then from there, I went on to the University of Houston, where I studied. Because of College of the Mainland, I got into the University of Houston School of Business, which was ranked number 5 in the nation. I studied marketing with a minor in radio television.
Okay.
After that, I worked a few odd jobs, and then I was blessed to get a job in corporate accounting.
Okay.
With the May Company, which some of you all may remember, Foley's. So I was in a corporate accountant for Foley's. The corporate office was downtown Houston, and so therefore I became in corporate accounting and accounts receivable for the May Company. Actually happened with that, if you all remember, a lot of people don't remember that Macy's bought us out.
Right.
And so with that merger, then we lost about 4,500 jobs in the city of Houston, and then out of all the places, College of the Mainland accepted me back. Here I am back where I really wanted to be, because I never wanted to leave, but in my mind I was like, let me take the business world by storm, and then you go and you make money and you see all these corporate things, and yes, it was fine, and they gave us limo rides and all those different things, but nothing felt as good as helping students.
Yes.
As helping my community. So by the time I got back, so now I'm back, and I never stopped volunteering. But now that I'm back and I'm not downtown Houston, and by the time I get down here, it's not dark, and now I can start helping people and students. So then I start volunteering again. More.
Yes.
Again, I never stop, because you can never stop because it's in you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that Bible when you talk about how that word just keep burning inside you.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get in, but that
But it
word
won't let you
burning inside you. You can't let it go.
Right.
So again, volunteering. So then I became Lamarck ISD Volunteer of the Year.
That's all right.
Now I'm gonna say that again, because I need some people that's watching it to hear. I came here from Brazoria County.
Yes.
The son of a single mother. But I became Lamarck ISD Volunteer of the Year. But I originally wasn't from Lamarck. So what I'm saying is, it ain't where you're from, it's where you at.
Yeah.
And where you feel the love at. And I felt the love and appreciation here. So therefore I just kept giving. So if you are from here, if you from West Texas City, then you need to step it up, because there's a lot of love. There's some things that you all may have neglected, or you may not have understood that, hey, if I would have stayed in Brazoria, I wouldn't have received this top level education like they was given down here at Lamarck High School, where they was ranked, where our test scores were ranked number 5 in the state of Texas. I wouldn't have been around so many young men and women that encouraged me to do more, to where, again, I don't have a friend out of my class that I hung with. And I hung with a lot of guys that didn't go to the College of Military. So they kind of set the standard here for me to be better. So again, I started back volunteering. Then now I'm with the Stop the Violence. I volunteered with Stop the Violence.
Awesome.
Then I became a member of the West End Leaders group. And so the West End Leaders, a lot of people, and even some of my candidate friends don't even know what that is, so I'm going to educate them. So once a month, all the West End leaders meet. That's all the ministers, that's the police chief, that's the assistant chief, that's the fire chief, that's any leaders that are in West Texas City. And there is nothing a resident of West Texas City can't get done in that meeting.
Okay.
It is we welcome them. They come in. I actually was invited because they said, hey, we got some guys that are getting out of prison that has been incarcerated, but they say they need some help getting in college. And somebody say, hey, let me invite Earl Alexander. And once they invited me, I came, and I have been a presence ever since. Why? Because I'm all action. How can I help these young men? And what they was thinking was, who do we invite? Because a lot of times they invite people, but people won't come. I'll go to the jail, I'll go to the church, I'll go to the community, I'll go wherever it is to help a student or to help somebody get in a better situation and change their life, and let them know how education can help change their life, whether it's through continuing education, getting a certificate, a degree, whatever they want to do. So again, with that West End leaders, now I am the proud chairman of the Lincoln Auditorium Revitalization Program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What happened is, again, we got Lincoln Auditorium, the only standing Black historical school.
That's right.
On the mainland.
Mm-hmm.
And these people saw fit to make somebody that's not originally from here.
Yes.
The chairman.
Yeah.
And in being the chair, I've only been the chair since January, and in that we've already developed a plan where that building has sat stagnant since way before the storm, way since 2014. Ooh, yeah. But now we already have a plan in place. So that is going to be the Lincoln Auditorium Cultural and Art Center.
Good. You know,
we're going to make that the Cultural and Art Center, Lincoln. So the face is going to stay the same. We got some structural engineers coming out. We're going to keep that. We're going to honor the legacy of the African-American community and education that set such a strong foundation here in District 1. Okay. And so again, you're gonna see a lot of stuff going on with that. We hope that you all will support it. Some of the people that's watching, especially the residents of Texas City, Lamarck, this is where your grandparents went to school. This is where your mothers went to school. Yes. So please come and support it. Again, Galveston Save Central. Yes. And they have a building.
Okay. Earl.
The mainland wants to. Yes, ma'am.
Let me ask you a question. I want to jump in right quick because you have some. Okay. You know, you're really good with young men, and I was listening to you tell your story, and what I like the fact about how you told that you came out of a single parent home, but yet you didn't allow that to stop you out of all of the different trials and tribulations. And what happens a lot, and I know you do so much work in this area, I wanted to capture that and kind of just that piece. Because I have some young men on here. I have like some parents and grandparents. And I want you to kind of, if you could, just elaborate a little bit about the importance of them, like life after high school, life in college, the importance of it, because you are so good working with these young people. You really are. And I like what you're saying, but I think since we got some as a part of our viewers, I really, and I have a nephew that has a son, and just put the message out there. I know he's listening, so, and it's not just because he's on there. There's other people who are going to see this later on.
Right.
And what you're telling, you triumphed over so many things. And if you could just go back just a little bit and kind of rehash that for us, and as you move forward.
Okay, again, we don't have to be the product of our environment. We choose that. So therefore, you look at your parents and you say, do I want this life or do I want a better life? That's all it is. and again, I'm a marketing major, so I know how we can make visual. We give people visual images, and we watching TVs, and we listen to songs, and we listen to things, and it gives you these visual images. You can either pick on the positive or the negative. I chose the positive images of saying, hey, I grew up in the 70s, 80s, and I watched Happy Days, and I watched the things that were surrounding the Fresh Prince, and I watched all these shows, and all they focused on was family. So because they focused on family, then hey, that's what I focus on, because that's what I wanted. And then because my dad wasn't around that often, I wanted to make sure I was around. So now what happens is, now I want to make sure that I give students all the things that I didn't have. So the first thing for those people that's listening, number one, we have to stop telling people that college is not for everybody. And I talked on the Stop the Violence thing a few weeks ago. And what people don't understand is when you're telling people that college is not for everybody, you're messing them up, because college is for everybody.
Yes,
so what I was telling some Miss Electra, and again, being a marketing major, we program your mind, and people don't even know. This is what happened.
That's right.
We told people that college is not for everybody. Then the movie Boys in the Hood came out. Right. And so when Boys in the Hood came out, what happened was they showed this nice image, and everybody thought it was such a nice image. And his father and son was fishing. And the first thing he told his son was, the military is not a good place for an African-American male. So if you got them telling them over here that college is not for everybody, then you told them the military is not a place for African-American male, you have taken out two major places where they can better themselves. But people didn't know that. That was called programming. That was programming. So then we programmed, so don't go to the military and don't go to the college. But it ain't too many places left to go, but jail, straight to work or jail.
That's it.
Because you took out the two major places for them to go to better themselves and better their family. But again, it's called programming. I'm telling you, they teach it to us every day in market. Again, I went to the number 5 school in the nation. I remember Mr. Lecture, one of the things, so I'm gonna tell y'all some things that y'all might not have never heard today. Number one, the first thing I heard in college and becoming educated was that they look inside the second grade classrooms and they count the minority males in the second grade, and that's how they determine how many beds they're gonna need in the prison in the next 10 years.
Now you need to say that again, because I didn't know that.
They go to the second grade classrooms. They count the minority males inside the classrooms. And that's how they determine how many beds they're going to need in the prisons in the next 10 years. So therefore, you count those young men out before they even start.
Oh my goodness. That's
Goodness. I'm sorry. I had to pop in. That just makes me so angry. Sorry.
That's okay. No.
I'll let you talk.
We're having a conversation here.
It's all right. Because again, a lot of times people don't know what's against you. And it's not anybody's fault. Again, especially again, it's our job to not tell people college is not for everybody. So okay, so now that they count them out already, and then you turn around and you tell them college is not for everybody, the military is not for the military is no place for African-American male. Well, really, when you say African-American male, you're talking about Hispanics as well, because we all we minorities. So again, now my job is to come here and tell you all and tell young men my job, and I love it so much because I get to go out and tell young men college is for you. There are options for you. How and again, this is what I asked them. How can college not be for everybody when you can go to college and just take the class that you like? What happens is we have adults that don't know how to articulate it, and that's what it is.
That's it.
You have people saying, you have adults that's telling kids college is not for everybody, but really what they're saying is that, hey, a doctorate degree is not for everybody. All right, well, that's pretty true. Hey, everybody don't have the money and time to spend 8 years in college.
Right.
8 to 10 years in college. Well, hey, maybe a master's degree. Maybe you can get a master's degree. Well, hey, that's 6 years and a lot of student loans. Hey, that's not for everybody. But then you got somebody thinking, I can do 4 years in college. Right. Because I did 4 years in high school.
Yeah.
And then you got somebody else saying, hey, 4 years, that was too much. I hated being at Tech City, Lamar, Dickinson, Hitchcock. I hated being at all of them high schools for 4 years.
Yeah.
But then now we're saying, okay, well, you can go to your local community college, just 2 years, do 2 years.
Okay,
well, man, Some of them saying 2 years is too long. But guess what? You got something called continuing education. And in continuing education, you can go to college for 3 months, 6 months to a year and make more than people that went to school for 4 to 6 years. And at the same time, you're only taking the class that you like. But how can we continue to tell people, students, young people, that college is not for everybody when you can get a degree online? You don't never have to come to the school.
That's right.
They got some colleges. They got weekend college where you just go on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
You got some. Then you get to pick your times. You can come to college at night. You can come to class during the day. You can come to class on Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday. So how can college not be for everybody if you get to pick and choose when and where and how you come?
That's right.
You. It's for you because you get to pick what's best for you. So yes, college is for everybody. It's for every individual there. And what happens is and this what happened. And I see on social media, people, I've been seeing this post and I really hate when I see it. It said, college is not for everybody. Look at what you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look what you can get by not going to college. So it showed welding, electrical, HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning. It shows all these trades, right? And so in that, those are all at community colleges. But the mind has been trained to say, don't go to college. I have students that saying, well, I had one kid that was going to school for welding, and I asked him, where are you going after when you graduate? He said, well, I'm gonna go to a trade school. I said, what are you gonna take? He said, I'm gonna take welding. You're already taking welding at College of the Mainland. It's a community college, but they're so programmed to say college is not for them to where they don't see college as an option when they're already in the college taking a trade.
Yeah.
They're thinking they got to go to a trade school. You don't have to go to a trade school, but because people have told them so much college is not for them, they don't even think about going to the college.
You know what I hear
to get a trade.
What I hear you saying, Earl, which I'm on here and I work in higher education and you work in higher education and Jackie works in higher, work before she retired out. All of us can attest to what you are saying. I'm glad that you are on here today and telling people education is important. My dad told me it's better to have it and don't need it than to need it and don't have it. My concept is, Earl, is the fact that every time I looked at my daughter, I was a single mother, but every time I looked at her, I was sharing this. I've shared this with younger people in my family and outside of my family. I used to get up in the morning, walk down the street with my backpack on my back, take my daughter to my sister-in-law's house. Then I would strike out trying to go to Galveston, trying to walk from West Texas City to Galveston College. Because all I saw is I got to get a better education so that I can show her that life can't hold you back unless you allow it to. Today I just told one of my nephews who's attending University of Texas in San Antonio and my grandson. I told him that and he's getting ready. He wants to go to PV. Never let nobody limit you. If you start allowing people to make you cross the street, you will cross the street for the rest of your life every time something comes in front of you. Build streets. So you always got a street to go down. And so if they block you on one street, go to another street. And me and Jackie, we talk all the time, my technical director and friend. We talk about the same thing you saying tonight, and I'm going to pass it back to you. You just don't know how this excites me, the fact for a man to be on here to speak out into the world, because it's not just Galveston County you talking to. Listen, it's a lot of young people, not just boys, girls too, need to know I don't have to stop right here. This is just a pothole, but I can go around it or I can fall in it. I like what you're saying, and you are where you are today. I'm telling you, got me excited, but I'm going to turn it back over to you because you got some wheels turning in my head like, this is why we do what we do, and we all got a story.
I want to throw something in just real quick. I have been privileged the last month or so to be working with a group of Afghan refugees, young men and young women, part of families that have been received sanctuary here in the United States. And these are 17 and 18-year-olds. They're too old to start learning. By the time they learn English, they're too old to go to high school, right? And so I'm telling them, get your GED so you can go to college.
Oh, college.
Learn English so you can take your GED.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let yourself be knocked down if you get knocked out of K through 12.
Right.
Don't stop. You must keep
moving.
Going.
That's right.
If you do not have a college education, your possibilities get limited to 25% of what's out there.
Yes.
Go to college. Everyone needs to get a college education.
Everybody.
And these Afghan refugees, these young men and young women, that right now they're having trouble even speaking English. They got to learn English first. But don't let the world stop you just because you had to escape from your home in the middle of the night, hiding in garbage dumps to get out of this terrible situation you were in. Mm-hmm. Even these kids growing up, these young, and Electra and I talk about this all the time, these young Black men growing up in a society that teaches them that a gun is the answer to everything.
Exactly.
Because it's not. It's
a road of destruction.
It is your mind that is the answer to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And if you let your mind go to waste, then you have to take responsibility for those decisions you make. Mm-hmm. Get an education.
That's right. Because the world gonna move.
Okay.
No, that's a good thing. The world gonna keep moving whether you do something or not. The world will keep moving. Right. And I do not want to be the one that's sitting on the sideline while everybody else is passing me by. Earl, you said something, and I do want you to go back and reiterate that about talk deeper about friends. See, a lot of these kids, they trying to stay connected to these friends they was connected to in high school. That life is over.
Right. Association brings on assimilation. Mm-hmm. So therefore, the people that you associate with, and they tell us, and most people have heard this, they say, if you want to see how successful you're going to be, look at the top 5 friends around you. And because I was blessed to go to Lamarck High School, if I look at the top 50 people around me, all of them went to college or the military. So although I come from a place in my small country town, very few people go to college. Mm-hmm. But when I came to Lamarck, I was blessed to come to West Texas City, and the standard was so high to where I was meeting African-American males whose fathers were doctors and purchasers and buyers and accountants and stuff like that. So this Texas City, this Lincoln High School, and this what I'm trying to help revive is set a high standards. Mm-hmm. Even here, I've met people that say, "Hey, we moved here because of the educational system, because of the high standards that were set." So again, young people, if any young people listening, please just understand that don't be around people that don't mean the best for you. Find you some positive people to hang around. Mm-hmm. And again, association brings on assimilation. You will do what you see done. And that's anything. That's just like, for example, they tell us as parents. As parents, they tell us what you do, your children will do. Well, guess what? What you do, what your friends do, you'll do. Mm-hmm. So if you surround yourself with positive people, then you will be positive. If you surround yourself with negative people, a lot of times you'll fall into negative traps. And not saying that's 100% of the time, but for the majority of it, that is the case. Mm-hmm. So again, make sure you stay around positive people, let positive people feed into you, and again, make the best of all the opportunities that are in front of you. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for that. You still got time.
Oh yeah. So I'm going back to what I was talking about with the Lincoln Auditorium again, because I want to promote that so much, because I want people to know what's going on and that we are trying to revitalize Lincoln and we need some help. Also, I was part of the Juneteenth Landmarker project, and so if you go back and because I was surprised today because I saw these people being honored by the Juneteenth committee or something, and they're gonna get these awards, and so what I looked at was like, okay, I was part of the Juneteenth committee, but my grandma taught me to be humble. See, I was raised by all women, and I'm fortunate. Up until I was in the 7th grade, I lived with my mom, that lived with her mom, that lived with my grandmother, that lived with my great-great-grandmother. So I had nothing but positive women in my life. So therefore, the one thing they taught me to do was be humble. So I want to say this tonight because this really has been my biggest obstacle as a political person. So what happened was when they tell you to be humble, and I don't have no problem telling people I'm saved.
Yeah, me neither.
Right, I go to church. I don't just go to church. I'm active in my church. I'm with the finance committee. I'm over all the programs and all that stuff. But the one thing they told me is let your work speak for you.
There you go.
So therefore, when I was taught by saved women to let my work speak for me, I didn't feel a need to go out and tell people everything I did.
Right.
So therefore, that's why you don't. That's why I'm not bothered. That I wasn't on to be on like an honorary or whatever to get awarded to the Juneteenth committee, because guess what? I was one of the ones that helped purchase the land marker. But some of the people that's being honored, I never saw them.
Yeah.
Right. So then at the same time, me and my friends, again, my classmates, we've been donating bikes to a social organization for the last 8 years. We donate bikes, but we're not part of some fraternity. We're not part of some club. We never look for recognition. So now what happens is it's kind of like a twofold thing. People saying, well, what has he done in the community? Well, I've done a lot, but guess what? They said be humble. Don't brag about what you do. Let your work speak for you.
There you go.
God see what you do.
That's right.
God see what I do. I didn't need to run out and tell everybody what I do. I know 5 young ladies that didn't have prom dresses what I paid for them. I had men that because my mom and Evelyn's alteration were best friends, I paid for their tuxes. But again, these people don't even know where they came from.
Yeah.
Because the Lord say, let your work
speaks for you. There you go.
I'm bragging about what you done because I didn't do it.
That's
God
right.
gave it to me to do it. And the thing about it is, when you say God gave it to you to do, how can you say God gave it to you? Because my daddy wasn't around and I paid for 5 other men tuxes.
Thank you.
See, that wasn't taught to me to do. God told me to do that.
Yeah.
Again, being raised the right way tells you got to give back. One of my favorite quotes that I had came from University of Houston graduation, and the spokesperson, the speaker at University of Houston graduation said, "It's not important what you become because of your education." And I'm gonna say that again because somebody might have missed it.
Yeah.
It's not important what you became because of your education. What's important is what you help others become because of the education that you received.
That's it.
It ain't important. You not even important. So therefore, that's why I never bragged about what I did. But sometimes it comes twofold where you gotta tell people.
Yeah.
I had an account over here at College of the Mainland with the diner. I spent $1,000 a year feeding kids because that's what my grandma taught me to do.
Yeah.
Don't never have no kids hungry around you. But you ain't never hear me brag.
No, never.
Don't nobody know about that. But I got the receipt.
Hello.
Because that's not what's important. That's not what's important. But again, there's that twofold thing to where you're doing so much in the community to where people say, well, what did he do? I walked 50 plus miles in this community, passing out flyers, cleaning up trash, helping people for 25 plus years. That's all I've done. Not looking for no recognition, not putting my name out there. Because again, I never even really intended in getting into this political stuff. It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
You know, because I didn't know nothing. All I knew is give back, help others. So again, I have over 30 years of volunteering. So now I'm gonna talk a little bit about this politics stuff, about what's going on, about me running for city commissioner, and why I feel like I'm a good candidate. Number one, when I first asked Mayor Matt Doyle back then, I say, again, I had volunteered with all the other commissioners, and I stand on the shoulders of Commissioner Thomas Carter. See, Thomas Carter was a commissioner for the city of Texas City, but he also was an English teacher here at Lamar at College of the Mainland. Again, Thomas Carter was one of the first black city commissioners with the city of Texas City. So what he did, but he was an English teacher here at College of the Mainland. So in being a commissioner and an educator, him like myself, we have a twofold job. Our job is to educate you
Mm-hmm.
But then also being a city official, we have to make sure that this city runs right, so that when you get your education, that you have a place to come back where you can live, and a place that you can get a job. So therefore, that's that twofold, and I love it because again, that means I'm working at the college, and I'm working in the city, and it's all working together for those that love.
The Lord.
I'm gonna stop right there.
The Lord.
I ain't gonna do too much of that.
No, you go ahead. This your story.
When it all work together.
Yeah.
Because it all worked together for those that love.
That's right.
Right. So again, on Mayor Dahl, when I asked him about running for city, because I went to get some advice. I'm gonna stop right. Hold on, because when I say I went to get some advice, I went to seek some wise counsel.
All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna let some people grab that one too, because they might not be ready for that one. Because I know this Wednesday. But again, I had to go seek some wise counsel, and I went to Reverend Benford. I went to Reverend Benford too, and he said, "Hey," and so Mayor Dahl said, "Hey, you're already doing the work. You've been doing the work for years, and I've heard so many problems." He said, "Now it's just time for you to get in the game." So that's what made me decide to run for the city official, District 1 candidate. So that's what made me do it again, because again, seeking wise counsel, and he's saying you're already doing all the work. But one of the great things what he said was, he said, with all the things you've done, if you become the city commissioner for District 1, he said you can help more people. So that's why I ran. I didn't run for no political agenda. I ran because somebody told me, in this position, you can help more people than you already help.
That's all right.
And that's all it means to me. Like some people, and people don't understand this position. Some people think that the city commissioner of Texas City is a political position. It's not. It's a people position.
Okay.
See, because you are the direct person that has a contact to the mayor where the people can reach you.
Oh, okay.
So when people have a problem or people have concerns, they can contact the city commissioner and reach you. Now, I was a city commissioner before. And what happened was, I had some people that had a problem, and I said, okay, well, if y'all have a problem, then let's get together and talk about it. So I brought these people to a conference room at College of the Mainland, and then I brought all the people that they had problems or concerns with, and we fixed those problems in one night.
Yeah.
In an hour. Why? Because you brought the people together in the same place. And again, that's the biggest thing, bringing those people to the place. So the number one concern, because again, I got people that's running against me, and I'm gonna help them out tonight so they understand, because some of them probably don't understand. Let me tell you the number one problem that we have here in District 1. The number one problem is the disconnect. The disconnect. And you can only know the disconnect if you can walk these streets. So the disconnect was, after Hurricane Harvey, a lot of the people in District 1 said, hey, we felt like we were on an island by ourselves during the flood. We feel like we didn't get the communication. We feel like we weren't able to talk to anybody. But hopefully when you get in office, then hey, we can get that done. And so that's what happened. Now, in that, they're telling me this while I'm helping them pull the wet carpet out their house.
Yeah.
See, volunteering in the community. See, if you notice, what I said was, they said when you get in office. I wasn't in office. Okay. But I was in the community volunteering, pulling wet carpet out of houses in South Acres, because just helping people, because we went street to street helping people to gut their houses out, to pull wet carpet out, to put it to the street, because some of these older ladies and some of these older men, some of our seniors weren't strong enough to do this, and then some of the work was too expensive, so we volunteered our time. Just like, again, volunteering over 30 years, that's what we did. So that is the number one thing that we have to resolve, is that disconnect. We got to make sure everybody feels that they are part of the process. Another thing, I had Daisy Buster. Miss Daisy had a problem, and I am so proud of myself. This is the only time I'm gonna tell y'all I'm proud of myself. As a city commissioner, I can honestly say that 95% of the people who had a problem with the city of Texas City, who called me, I didn't call them back, Mr. Legend. Because I went to their house to see their problem.
That's all right there. That's all right there.
I didn't call you.
You went to the situation.
I went to your house to see the. I went to your house to see the problem.
All right.
And then Miss Daisy, that's 80 years old, say this is the first time a city official ever came to my house.
Isn't that something?
You've been here 80 years, and it's the first time somebody came to your house to see what your concern was. And so I can honestly say, I ain't saying I was 100% because it's a couple of people I didn't make it to their house. One of them was my neighbor, Miss Dorothy Godfrey, and I'm sorry, Miss Godfrey, but I didn't make it over there.
Yeah.
But 80% of the people who called me and say they had a problem with the city of Texas City, I went to their house. I took the pictures. I took the pictures to the city, whoever needed to be, to the water department, if they had a problem with their water bill, and we got it resolved.
Yeah.
And see, that's what they need. They need to feel that somebody cares enough about them, not just to not only to return their call, but to come and see their problem.
You got to get in. You got to get in it with them.
Yeah, the people that have problems are somehow elders.
Yes.
And sometimes these phones don't work. So
That's
sometimes they might not hear you as good. Sometimes they might not be able to see the numbers on the meters as good. But if you come out and show them that you're concerned, then that'll resolve that disconnect. And that's what I did 95% of the time.
Yes. That's
95%.
important.
And I want to get to 100.
Oh, you there. You just don't know it.
Yeah. And the next biggest concern on in District 1 was the drainage. The drainage. I remember being in the last situation in this last election, which again I came up a little short. They were talking about the drainage, and most of the people didn't even understand the drainage. This is the problem with the drainage in a lot of areas. So since we're listening all over, let me tell you the problem with the drainage, because people are saying, well, hey, we got a lot of flooding going on in our neighborhood. I'm going to break it down to you real slow and short.
Okay.
The houses that we have here, all over the country, were built on 100-year flood plains.
Oh.
The flood plain was for 100 years. So with erosion, we know, hey, every time it rains, a little dirt wash off, And so the houses were built up on a 100-year plain. Well, now, because of the flooding, the new houses are built up on a 500-year plain, which means flood plain. Yeah. So that means these houses are built up higher.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So these houses are built lower, and these houses are built higher. Where the water going?
Down
to those houses.
To the old houses. Yeah.
So that's what happened. So if you never have understood why your neighborhood is just not starting to flood, that's what happened. But recently, on this side, again in District 1, with the building of some new schools and some new flood the retention ponds, that's going to alleviate some of the flooding. Also back in one of the areas that was flooding the most, over there on Pine Street and Pecan, they got a grant to buy some of those houses out and again alleviate some of that flooding from over there. So those are some of the things they've done. Now, you wouldn't know that. I know it because I walked over in the flood water.
Yeah.
But I know because when they called when it was flooding and they called me, I went over there to see what it looked like. So I could take some pictures and say, okay, because you can't fix a problem if you can't see it physically for yourself.
There you go.
When you see it for yourself, you know what the people are talking about. But you got to care enough to see it for yourself.
That's right.
So again, and the last big thing is over here in District 1 that we really need to focus on is beautification. And it's nobody's fault, but a lot of times ours. And one of the things Mayor Doyle told me, again, he said, Earl, we can do everything we can in Texas City, but we can't make people be good neighbors. So a lot of times what we're having somebody that want to work at one place and be a shade tree mechanic at their house. So they got rundown cars, you got people with trash, and that's nobody's problem but our own. Yeah. We have to learn to be good neighbors. That ain't nothing the city can do, because the city can't come on your property and tell you how to run your house. No. But again, that's the biggest thing. We want to encourage people to be good neighbors and keep our neighborhoods clean, to keep our value up. One of the things I hate when people talk about gentrification, they talk about gentrification. They say, well, these people gonna come in and buy up our neighborhoods and then revitalize them.
Yeah.
They can only do that because we didn't care about our own neighborhoods.
Thank you.
If we care, if we show that we care, if we pick that trash up, because I've gone again. I had somebody call me one day and say, hey, over there by this club down there, ain't nothing but trash. I went out there and I picked that trash up myself. I called somebody from the city, Tech City, and he just happened to ride by. He picked up the bags for me. But again, sometimes we got to do it for ourselves. I remember him saying, when the president said, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what can you do for your country.
Yeah.
So the question is not what Texas City government can do for you, but what can you do to help the Texas City government? Can we please be good neighbors and keep our neighborhoods clean and take some pride in our community and show the people that we love Texas City. We love being here. We love these low taxes. We love everything that you have. Although we may have seen an increase in crime, we know it's still a low crime rate.
Yeah.
Can we please show the love to this city that we have? Another thing, please, and this to anybody that's listening and these politicians. One of the things I hate the most is when a politician come in and say, we gonna change something. Yeah. See, when you talk about what you're gonna change, what you're doing is you telling the people that was already there that made the sacrifice and the hard work that they didn't do enough. Yeah. So no, that's like now. I've seen people come in talking about they gonna change Texas City. Why would you change it? Did you not know that Texas City won the All-American City Award? So what you gonna change that for? You gonna try to make it worse? No, what you need to do is say, hey, how can I come in and improve what's already being done? The city of Texas City, when it comes to their city audits and all that stuff, when it comes in the auditing and cash, and Texas City gets a 99 to 100 on all of their city audits. So what you gonna come in and change? You gonna make it worse? Because it's already good. Now there's some areas that we need improvement, but don't come in and try to change nothing because the city of Texas City is good. Now there's some improvements that everybody can make. We all need to make. We need to adjust the times, but this city is in good standings. We got good people. We got good programs, and I'm so proud that I was on the city commission when we voted to where all students from Texas City and Lamarck ISD, Texas City ISD, get to attend College of the Mainer for free. So what do you change? Yeah. It's a lot of good stuff. So really what you want to say is you need to come in and enhance what's already going on. Yeah. Don't come in trying to change anything. Also, another big misconception that people have with city officials, and I might be the only person that ever said it, and I'm going to say it because it's the truth. Reverend Benford told me, Reverend D.N. Benford, because again, I had to seek wise counsel. He said, you smart enough to go in and learn the system. All we need you to do is go in and learn the system and figure out how to help and improve things. We don't need you to go in and make no changes. We don't need you going in and start no confusion. We just need you to go in and tell us. And what he's saying is, hey, go in and just learn. Now, we got some people that come in and act like they're going to do all this stuff, but what they really don't realize is, as a city official, and even Don Singleton told me when he, as a commissioner, he said you need to be there about 10 years to really help and make a change. And I'm saying that because they created a park over in Texas City, Martin Luther King Park. And as a city commissioner, I was there and I voted and it was beautiful and people was like, okay, thank you. But the realization of it is, they had been working on that for 20 years. Dr. Lee and Ray Ellison. So a lot of times when you first get there, all you're doing is voting on stuff that these people had already worked hard for. Even now, we got Mayor Dedrick Johnson. Yeah. Well, he had took a little time off to make sure, to spend with his family, and now he's the mayor. But as a commissioner, he was off with his family, dedicating his life to his family, when the park was actually honored. But he had done all the hard work before then. Yeah. So therefore, a lot of times people want to come in saying all these things they're going to do, but the realization of it is a lot of these things were already in place. So like the freeway, this expansion of I-45, that was already in place years before I even got there. Yes, I voted on a few things, but it was already in place. So again, I'm not going to act like I'm going to take credit for something, all the hard work and sacrifices that people made years before me. Again, I'm saying I'm not coming in trying to change anything. I'm just coming in trying to improve what's already there.
Thank you
change,
so much.
improve.
Thank you.
Be an asset, be a listening ear, be a voice to my community. That's what I want to be.
Thank you so much. So we're at the end here, but I'm going to tell you how this is going to go now, because we got like 7 more minutes. I've got to make sure that I let you know what the viewers are saying, because they took out their time too. So
right.
I'm going to run through, give you some feedback on what some of the viewers that did comment. All viewers don't always comment, but they own there. Then Jackie is going to have some closing remarks, and then you will have the last word to close us out. That okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me read off what the viewers are saying. The first viewer came on and was just basically saying good evening, everyone, letting us know that she was there. Another viewer came on and said, that is so awesome. So what you're saying is resonating. Got another viewer on that just saying good evening, love to see you. Another viewer just came on to speak and say hey. Have another viewer saying overcame the statistics. We have another viewer say, talk brother, you are truly an awesome man. I'm glad to hear your amazing work and ambitious mindset to help your community continue to let God lead and grow you in an amazing way. We have another viewer who says, Mr. Alexander is the hero. We have another viewer saying, so true, choices. Another viewer says, I learned that when I got to TSU. Dr. Jones was a beast at pacing us up on the real. The same viewer says, your grandson is an exceptional young man and he has faced, plenty challenges with the next phase of his life with his college, but he has not gave up. He has really benefited from men such as Mr. Earl. And thank you for helping these kids. Same viewer says, thank you for helping these kids. They relate to you, to real, and that's a big deal. Another viewer is just speaking to you. We have another viewer speaking to you. We have another viewer telling you, one of the previous viewers, young man, telling you to come on with it. Another one, a viewer saying leading by example. Another viewer speaking to you, saying hello and asking you to just keep speaking. Another viewer asks you to just keep speaking. Then we have another viewer who says thank you for all your works. We have another viewer saying the people need someone like you to represent on their behalf. And then the same viewer says our behalf. And then we have a viewer that says a true servant in all aspects of life. Vote Ken to win. So these are viewers' responses. And the reason why myself and Jackie made that decision to make sure that viewers' points are brought out while we're on live, because we respect the fact that they come onto this podcast to listen to these interviews. They don't have to do that, but they meet us here on the podcast. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. Now, Jackie, I'll turn over to you. You will have some words. And then, Mr. Alexander, you're going to take us out.
I want to throw in my 2 cents and say, Electra and I talk about this all the time. The place to teach a child is in the home. But if nobody's in the home teaching the child, we need people in the community who will teach the children.
Yes.
And Mr. Alexander, you are an example of what all of us should do. I don't have any physical children of my own, but I feel like I have 4,000 children, because that's how many lives of young people crossed my desk when I was an academic advisor, not just at College of the Mainland, but also at University of Houston. And even now I have students that I work with continuously, even though I'm retired. If there's nobody in the home teaching the child, then we need people like Mr. Alexander, who will be out in the community, giving of your time, giving of yourself, to teach the children so that understand that this is our next generation. These are the leaders of our future.
Yes, they are.
And you are a leader in our future. And we have to back you up.
Yes, we do.
And we do back you up. We are here for you. So keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Thank you. That's
Jackie,
what I want to say.
Before you go off,
Yeah.
I would like for you to mention, while we have the audience, the different people who view this podcast.
Okay.
I would like for you to talk about
right?
that just briefly before
Okay.
Earl closes us out.
Well, just so you know, I kind of get a chance to interact with viewers from different places because I handle the technical aspect of this channel. We have a viewer in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and actually he only watches the recorded. Most of these people in the other country only watch recorded. They don't come on live because, like right now in the DRC, it's midnight. So hopefully he's asleep. But we have a viewer there. We have a viewer in France. We have a viewer in London. We have one in Moscow. We have at least one in Mexico City. And I'm saying at least because these people share the channel with other people. So we might have even more people. We have, we just got a new viewer in Florida. We have viewers in California and Oklahoma and Washington, D.C. and Washington State, Dallas.
Russia.
I don't even live in Texas City. I live in Houston. And
we got
we
Russia.
have many viewers here in Houston.
We got Russia.
So we got Russia. Yeah, well, we may not have Russia at the moment. Okay.
So much going on, but yeah.
They have cut off all interaction with the outside world, so their people don't know what's going on. But when they come back, we will welcome them. So anyway, there are a lot of people watching this, and you, Mr. Alexander, are being an example to a lot of people, not just people who look like you or look like me, people from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Jackie. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Miss Jackie.
Yeah. You'll close us out.
In closing, first of all, I want to say thank you, Miss Electra, and thank you, Miss Jackie, for inviting me to your platform. I mean, it is an honor to be here. Me and my friends, where I'm from in the country, we laugh and we talk about, man, look how far you have come from a drug addicted father, from a small country town where people told you that you weren't gonna be much. But and that's why when people here at College of the Mainland, sometimes they say, "How you doing?" I say, "It's wonderful," because they don't know how far I've come. So for me, I'm thankful every day. I'm thankful that they allow me to help students and help people the way I wanted to be helped. So again, tonight I'm going to honor, and I want to say this broadcast for me is honoring a great citizen of District 1, Miss Vanola Cobb.
Okay.
And I'm saying that because she died last year of COVID. But during the last election, Miss Cobb, she always told me, "This Miss Cobb from Cobb Street, you'll always remember me." But when I lost the election last year before last, she texted me the next day and say, "Keep your signs. I got some more voters for you."
Okay.
When my feelings was hurt, she said, "I got some more voters for you." So she said, "Keep your signs. I got some more voters for you." And I know if she was here today, she'd be proud because she wanted me to run again. And let me apologize because it's my fault. Let me apologize. During the last election, when I lost the election, I didn't do the work that I should have done. I took things for granted. My mom had passed away, and then I found myself in this great city with no family. So I kept questioning myself, do I even want to be in the city? I came here because I wanted to be with my mom and my brother, as I told y'all in the beginning, and because they was down there, and they every time they would come here to Texas City and leave Brazoria where we was at, I could see the tears in their eye because they were coming up here with no family. And then all of a sudden I found myself the one with tears because my mom was gone and my brother had relocated and moved to California. So now I was in a city of Texas City with no family. So I kept asking myself, do I even want to be here? And so therefore, because I didn't know if I really wanted to be here, I didn't work that hard. So District 1, I let you down, and I apologize. I didn't go out there. I didn't I didn't market myself with the marketing degree that I have. I didn't campaign like I should have. So therefore, if I would have done the things I know I should have done, I could have made this district even better. But I didn't because I was in my personal feelings. But now I know Texas City is the best place to live. I know Texas City is the best place for me. And I promise you, if elected on May 7th, I will give you the best of me until there's no more to give, because I owe you that. I owe you that because you allowed me to come and welcome me in, because you gave me an educational system that set a foundation for me, that you set standards for me. So again, I thank you so much. I thank you, Ms. Cobb, and I hope you're with God and you're praying for me. But again, as a city commissioner, I'm gonna tell you all, because most people don't even know this. This is the model for the city officials for Texas City.
Yes, amen.
Might teach us to some. The model for the city of Texas City is to create, as city officials, our job is to create a nice place to live, work, and play. Live, work, and play. And so every day, that's what I'm trying to do. Create a nice place for you to live, a nice place for you to work, and a nice place for you to enjoy life. That's why they have so many parades and festivals and all these things in Texas City, because they want you to be able to live here nicely. They want you to be able to find jobs and economics and spend your money here, and they want you to have a nice place to enjoy life. So again, thank you. Wow. Again, early voting starts April 25th through the 29th. That's from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Also on May the 2nd and 3rd from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then again, the election day is Saturday, May 7th. Again, thank you to this podcast, Ms. Electra, and all the things you're doing. Again, as I'm going to end with saying, let the works I've done speak for me.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good night.
I'm checking out.
All right. Bye-bye.